Good morning. It's a little hot still. Hey, good morning. It's Monday, January 4th, 2021. How do you like them apples? I like them apples. I like them apples. Hey, so I wanted to share a few things this morning. And I also wanted to say that I missed this. I like connecting in the morning with this process and with all of you in this weird way. I'm grateful to be back here. These are the things I want to talk about. Number 1, hi. Number 2, this process is about changing mindsets for winter. And it's really also about just changing mindsets. So yes, winter is the focus-ish. But in the title, there's not feeling so crappy. So that is a big focus. And one of the reasons why is that, I'm having feelings about winter. Yeah. And also I'm just feeling crappy at times. And that's beyond the seasons. That's beyond COVID. That's beyond anything. So this experiment, this first experiment, is about how do I shift that, change that, and then sharing with you what I discover in my experimenting with the hopes that something will resonate with you. It's not that you have to do the exercises that I'm doing, the experiments that I'm doing too. They are a launch pad for you to explore yourself. And one of the biggest things is, how are you making time? Making time is a stupid thing to say. How are you engaging with time to do this, to help yourself with the winter, with COVID winter, and to support yourself in not feeling so crappy? That's what the whole idea of the project is. So I share what I find with you, and hopefully something resonates. I know that there's times when I'm doing an experiment and I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to care about this but me. And there's times where I'm doing an experiment and I'm like, this is so applicable to probably most human beings. So it's a mix. So that's one thing. I want to clear that up. You don't have to do the experiments, and I'd love for you to do the experiments or to riff on those experiments and do your own experiments and share them with me. That's like my ultimate goal, is to have a community of people who want to do that with me. That is ideal. And that goes way beyond this one project. That's just in my life. I want to create community, to co-create community with human beings who want to consciously experiment with their life, with their humanness, right? And not feeling so alone, lost, all the things. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is that last night I had an amazing experience, and I may post this. I found mystery letters, old letters from a beloved who, I don't know how they ended up with her, but they did. In my moving nomadic life, there was a packet of letters, and in those packet of letters, where were the letters that my mom wrote to me when I was in England my sophomore year of college. Now, my mom was not a writer. She is not someone who wrote a lot of letters, and she wrote me letters when I was in England. And I read through them last night and I cried. I love my mom. I am a mama's boy. I have always been devoted and a huge fan of Sally Ann Colby Klein, and her death was, still is, will be a point of heartbreak. And also an understanding I have is that our communication still continues in a different way. So the thing that I want to offer you is this. It felt incredibly nourishing and connective. So I'm isolated. I'm by myself, and luckily I have a beloved across the way that I get to go have coffee, the most amazing coffee in the world, on her porch regularly and be fed incredible food, but no physical whatever and outside porch separation land. So I have that right now. That's amazing. And I don't have like a human to touch. So I'm fairly isolated. And reading these letters from my mom, one, I laughed my ass off because there were some really funny things. My mom was incredibly funny, and there were some really funny things. And I cried a lot. And I felt deeply connected. And that was incredible. So I want to offer to you, not about your mom or your family of origin necessarily, but is there someone in your life who wrote to you, whether it be letters or whether it be emails or texts, someone who is a fan and a support of you, and they've written to you, they've offered you these words of love and support through the years, or maybe even recently. I would really invite you to take some time, like maybe 15 minutes, a half an hour, and reread some of those words and let them sink in. I think it's hard to let the good stuff sink in sometimes. So in this lack of connection COVID times, I really think that we need to be creative about how we feel connected. And I found this to be very powerful. Now, yes, it also was sad because I miss my mom horribly every day. I miss my mom. And it was also like a hug from her. Right? So that's my thought. Are those words of nourishment out there that either you've forgotten about, or you haven't looked at in a long time, or you've poo-pooed because you weren't in the space of receiving those words? Can you go back, spend a little time with them, and let that good stuff come in deeper? Another thing is that I got a big hit on New Year's morning from the uni that my work is a lot about teaching people to stop hating themselves. And I think it's true. I think that is a good big chunk of my work, is that I support people and I offer things to help them stop hating themselves, stop telling the lies about themselves, stop having negative thoughts about themselves, knowing fully well that I have no magic that's going to make that cease and desist. I do have skills, techniques, encouragement, all sorts of things that do support people stopping hating themselves so much. And that is what I've been doing for decades now, professionally and also personally. So I'm mulling about in my head that the next project that I do after Equinox maybe focuses on that more specifically. I might do some kind of project that is about how to stop the hate. And the reason why I can do this is that, wow, did I hate myself as a young person. There are many, many reasons. And part of it was, of course, I had some really bad input from the world about me and who I am. I was not chosen. I was not accepted or wanted in many ways. There were individuals who did want me, like my mom. And that made all the difference. Like my sister Carol, who I didn't see very often, but whenever I did, she's much older than I am. She's like 20 years older than I am, 20-something years older than I am. When I did get to be in her presence growing up, she would reaffirm that I was okay and that I was loved and wanted. And that made a huge difference, right? So I had some support, and I didn't have nearly enough support. I was queer. I was gender nonconforming before we even really were thinking about that. I was a boy girl. I've never not been that. I liked girls a lot. And also I was a very strange kid. I was very lonely, incredibly isolated and lonely. I was bullied horribly by many factors for like a long time, for a good decade plus. I received bullying on a daily basis, multiply, from multiple fronts, at home and in the world. I mean, yes, I had privileges. Oh my goodness, I had privileges. Middle class, suburbia, white, educated, all these things that helped. Privilege it just helps bring down the toxicity. It doesn't make it go away. It gives you kind of a buffer. The more privilege you have, the more buffer you have between the toxicity of trauma, of life, of whatever. It doesn't mean you don't experience it. And I really do want to emphasize that. Everybody is experiencing the fallout, the impact of a traumatized species traumatizing itself. And the more privilege you have, the easier it is on some level. So I had all that. That I don't hate myself now. And I don't. I love Uncle Bear. I love me. There are times when I don't like what I do. And I'm very clear that it's what I'm doing. It's my behavior. It's not who I am. I managed to heal that. And I know I'm having a problem with the word heal, but I managed to tell a different story about that. And that's still not perfect either. There are days where just challenge is too great. And I am a testament to the fact that you can heal and you can transform all sorts of stuff. And I want to offer that to humans. I have been offering it. I will continue offering it. And I'm curious about offering it in some focused way. So there's that. Last thing, this week's theme. I got to remember to always back off from the mic when I do things like that. This week's theme is curiosity and play. So I'm very excited about that because this is one of my core values, curiosity. And I have created a retreat around it. I've studied it. I still don't know hardly anything about it. It's one of those things of fish in water, not recognizing the water. I still, in my head, don't understand how everyone's not just brimming with curiosity. And we're going to play with curiosity, and especially curiosity about winter and about embracing it and what to do and how to play now. Whether you go outside or not, that's the other thing. I think a lot of times we think of play, we think about going outdoors, and there'll hopefully be some of that. But this week, it's going to be curiosity and play, and I'm very excited about that. Hi. So it's a long one. Thank you for watching, for witnessing. Know that I do appreciate any kind of comments and feedback you give me about this process that we're on together. And I just am so grateful for this. So my Facebook Live is going to be in a couple hours, so I got to prep for that. And I will see you then. And we do this thing together. We do this thing together.